You awake from a strange dream, recalling only the salty smell of the sea and crashing waves amidst stormy skies. The image slips from your waking mind, like shadow retreating from an open flame, until only faint wisps remain. Rising from bed to take a sip of water, you contemplate recent events. Since winter had arrived in full force, just as the Loremaster predicted, the house had become more akin to an immense prison. The snow had been so intense that the doors leading out were sealed shut, and the blizzard showed no signs of letting up anytime soon. The heavy chill and ever-present darkness now lingered in every hall, and it weighed on you. But in contrast, the Loremaster seemed quite cheery as of late. He kept checking various astrological instruments, excitedly murmuring to himself about some event approaching soon. Thanks to his many lessons and your own efforts, you managed to start deciphering various hints scattered throughout whispers given off by the natural world. The winds of magic twisted in bizarre patterns, a warning to the wise that some great disturbance was building up elsewhere in the world. Furthermore, any attempt you made to scry the potential near future only showed complete darkness. It would be when you snuck into the astronomy chamber and checked the measurements against your own findings that you realized what would be arriving tomorrow night. Geheimisnacht, the eve of Chaos Ascendant, when the Chaos Moon Morslieb would wax full and overtake its more wholesome sibling, radiating dark energies out across the world. When the fabric of reality would wane to its thinnest, and terrible creatures could stalk the land openly. Why would the Loremaster be looking forward to such an evening? Surely this house, dependent as it was upon magical forces and full of dangerous artifacts, would be a greater risk than any other night. Perhaps he required the influx of Dar to power some ritual? But then, despite all his stories and tales, you had never seen the Loremaster actually use magic, had you? Not since your first encounter, when you stabbed him with the unholy blade. Is that why he cannot open the library doors? It requires magic to do so? But why can he not utilize the winds of magic? Just what is going on here? Perhaps the time has come to find the answers for yourself. Does the Loremaster himself not say that seeking knowledge is the true purpose and drive behind lore seekers? The time has come to defy your teacher and enter the forbidden library of the Loremaster. You step out of the astronomy chamber, crossing the threshold and willing the house's own magic to transport you to the Hall of Convergence. Shadows wrap around you for an instant before peeling back, depositing you just before the grand portal to the library. The intimidating majesty of the immense doors fills you with determination, and you step forward, placing your hands firmly against the Drakewald oak. The runes begin to alight one at a time, that curious warm sensation in your chest returning as magic flows through your body. With each rune that flares brightly, you feel the heat in your chest grow more intense, while strength drains from your body. You grimace as that once comforting warmth transitions into a searing pain, like someone pressing a branding iron into your flesh. Your arms start to shake from exhaustion, the sigils feeding upon your essence to fill themselves with power. Just as the pain becomes unbearable, you cry out and fall back, stumbling to the ground in a sweaty heap. Glancing up at the doors, you watch as the final symbol flares to beaming life, a loud boom ringing out as some mechanism on the other side of the gateway shifts. You did it. Just as you climb back to your feet, you hear a low chuckle behind you. Turning around in alarm, you see standing in the center of the hall is none other than the Loremaster himself. His mouth spreads concerningly wide, revealing a manic grin placed beneath eyes brimming with mad glee. The Loremaster slowly raises one of his hands, pointing upwards, in an almost mocking fashion. You risk a brief glance towards the ceiling, gasping when a chunk of it suddenly drops towards you. Exhausted as you are, it is difficult to dodge aside from the camouflaged boulder descending ever so rapidly. Still, all that physical training paid off, and you just managed to roll aside, reaching for your weapon to confront the Loremaster. Before you can, however, the large rock in your periphery unfolds, and two large, barbed arms snap forwards at an absurd speed. You slash out with your blade, but it glances off the hard armor of the creature, the impact knocking the weapon from your grasp. The monster's strange claws reach just past you before folding back, trapping you in a crushing grip, while numerous razored barbs cut into your flesh. Crying out in shock and pain, you struggle to breathe in the clutches of your assailant, as it continues to grow in stature. Finally unveiling its full form, you cannot help but recoil in revulsion as you realize your captor to be some kind of massive praying mantis. Impressive, is it not? I thought you might appreciate the opportunity to encounter a Tregara, seeing as you must have seen so many tiny versions of it out in the garden. Those that dwell in the deep places of the earth, such as the famed underway of the dwarfs or the near infinite tunnels of the Skaven, grow quite a bit larger, as you can see. With their thick carapace providing quite the natural armor, and possessing excellent ambush skills thanks to their camouflage, the Tregara makes quite the exceptional hunter. Would you be interested to know that they grow to a minimum of 8 feet in length? Though I'm sure you noticed this particular specimen is well over 10 feet, and quite skilled at capturing human-sized prey. Do not worry, my dear student. I won't let it feast upon you. This creature has long served in the depths of the Loremaster's home, capturing intruders and bringing them to be evaluated by the Lord of the House. Thus, it answers to me, for I bear his voice. After my little slip-up the other night, I feared you had discovered my secret, so I made preparations. This creature is far stronger than any man, and its mandibles make short work of armor and flesh with ease. I may have to let it chew through one of your limbs as a demonstration, perhaps. It has been far too long since I have heard those delightful screams, as Tregara, much like their lesser kin, do so enjoy chewing through their prey alive, nibble by nibble. I placed him here because I thought that you would come and open these doors, or rather should I say I prayed. Oh, how you have done so well. Truly, everything has gone just according to plan. Ah, your face was so amusing. You weren't expecting its exceptional wall-crawling ability, were you? That's how they hunt in the depths as well, disguising themselves as part of the rock above, before lashing out with those barbed claws to hook a tasty morsel. The Ratmen are quite terrified of them, in fact. There are records of the sinister Council of 13 using them as executioner pets, letting unfavored Skaven loose in their lairs, whereupon they must flee through a maze. Should they survive it, it shows their rancid god, the Great Horned Rat, favors them, and thus they are absolved of their sins. But few ever manage such a feat, and I am afraid you will have no such opportunity. Enough lore lessons, however, I think. I am so very hungry, and it has been such a trial to restrain myself over these past months. But I couldn't give in. No, not yet. The architect told me I had to wait, to fatten you up with knowledge, skill, and strength, so that I might finally be free. But now you're ready. You open the door. You are strong enough, and are so very full of wisdom. Such a delightful meal. However, I keep my promises. The Tregara will not devour you, but simply hold you, as I get to savor my succulent feast at long last. Do try your best to hold still, young lore seeker. I have grown quite fond of you, and so will try to minimize your suffering with just a few well-placed bites. Just as your trusted teacher leans over your head, drool dribbling down his chin in preparation for a horrific feast, the doors to the library blast open with tremendous force. This scatters everything within the Hall of Convergence, even the insectoid Tregara toppling end over end and releasing its hold upon you. After slamming into the hard floor and rolling to a stop, you feel a warmth in your chest, and a harsh whisper enters your mind. Run, child. The Tregara is a dweller of the deep earth, and thus has no sight. It is completely blind. It's fast, faster than you, but uses vibrations to hunt, so you must flee quickly, into the library, where it cannot follow. Unwilling to risk falling prey to the mantis beast again, you sprint towards the library, hearing the heavy tread of insectoid appendages close behind. Terror lending strength to your tired limbs, you hurl yourself towards the yawning doorway, just as the raking claws on the Tregara's forelimbs slash down your back. Crying out, you roll across the marble floor, glancing back to see the monster standing awkwardly at the threshold, as if having run into a wall. Not willing to take any chances, you jump to your feet and run deeper into the seemingly endless library, weaving between towering stacks of books and into the darkness beyond. Behind you, you hear the cannibal Loremaster come crashing through the doors, shrieking in rage as he desperately searches for you. Truly, that is no man, but a monster. So you continue to flee, hoping to find something that may yet save you from this nightmare. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of the Monstrous Arcanum featuring the Tregara, also known as pure nightmare fuel if you've ever seen an actual praying mantis catch a hummingbird. It is horrific. In any event, this episode wasn't originally going to make it into the series due to a couple of delays over the month of October, but I decided to go ahead and just crank it out today because we needed at least one creepy crawly of the deep tunnels. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the like button so I can know that, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and smack that notification bell so you can be notified immediately when other episodes drop. We are so very close to the end now. There will be 2 episodes that come out tomorrow, one in the morning, one in the evening, and that will essentially wrap up the storyline with the grand finale featuring on Halloween night. Real quick, I would like to thank all of my patrons for their continued support, and I hope you all are enjoying the story. Lastly, I want to give a quick shout out to my most generous supporters: Charles Bode, Scion of the Emperor, Eric, Jeffrey Ramers, CJ Ubusta, Wendell Short Eyes, and Higgins the Seagull. That's all for now. Bye!